Hello, today I'll be talking about Karatsuba-Hoffman's multiplication algorithm, which is a very fast divide and conquer technique, which allows you to do faster than quadratic time multiplication of very large numbers. So, the algorithm that we're going to be discussing today is called Karatsuba algorithm. So the motivation of Karatsuba's algorithm is that we're interested in the multiplication of two very large numbers. Now we have a traditional multiplication. We have a traditional algorithm that lets us do it in O of n squared time using brute force. So we're interested in essentially taking a number. So let's say we have the number 1, 2, 3, 4, taking a number 5, 6, 7, 8. So worst case is when they're both the same length. And essentially what our algorithm is going to do is when we do the brute force method, it multiplies 8 with 4. Afterwards, it multiplies 8 with 3. Afterwards, it multiplies 8 with 2, then it multiplies 8 with 1. It handles all the carries, and afterwards it goes from 7, and then it does 7 times 4. And then it does 7 times 3, 7 times 2, 7 times 1. So you can easily see that this is becoming quadratic because we're getting a diagram like this. It keeps iterating through all these pairs. So I'm not going to go too much in depth into how the brute force algorithm works, but as you can see, it's not very efficient. So what we're interested in is actually analyzing this and trying to do a divide and conquer. So when you hear of the word divide and conquer, naturally you need to divide on something, and then afterwards you need to do some sort of combined step if that's necessary. So what I'm going to show is I'm going to show a simple decomposition of what the multiplication does. So what we notice is we have a number x, and we multiply it by another number y, and then we get some result z. Now for this result z or z, we have the number x, which we will split into half. So just like any divide and conquer algorithm, we're going to split x into half. So we're going to say that this is equivalent to saying AB times CD. We multiply these, and then this equals some result over here. Now, what does this actually do? So, for example, we could have this instance of 1, 2, 3, 4 times 5, 6, 7, 8. Multiply it. We had x is 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is like that. So we're going to take it, and we're going to split it up into these little boxes over here. Okay? So essentially this becomes a equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what is the actual result of this? So we have this number AB. Now we said that A equals 12, B equals 34, C equals 56, D equals 78. So we have these results over here. Now how do we actually get the result from x and y if we have these numbers? So we broke it down into these steps, but notice the following. If we do 12 times 10 to the 2 plus 34, well, this is equal to 1,234. We have 56 times 10 to the 2 plus 78. Well, this is equal to 5,678. So in essence, what we're doing is we're doing this shift over here. We have these terms, and we shift by 10 times n over 2. Okay, so now that we have this other representation. So more abstractly, we have the representation that we have a times 10 to the n over 2 plus b, and we have c times 10 to the n over 2 plus d. So we have these two equations, but our result is just these two multiplied. So therefore our answer is a times 10 to the n over 2 plus b times c times 10 to the n over 2 plus d. Well, this just simply simplifies to ac times 10 to the n plus ad times 10 to the n over 2 plus BC times 10 to the n over 2 plus BD. Now, you might be wondering, okay, so what did we actually accomplish over here? So we broke down these numbers into these smaller portions over here, and afterwards we essentially said we're going to break this down into smaller parts and do this multiplication. Right now it might not appear immediately obvious why this is good, but what we notice is we're doing now a multiplication with AC, we're doing a multiplication with AD, we're doing a multiplication with BC, and a multiplication with BD. Now we also have over here inside these statements, we have these multiplications over here. So essentially this is shifting something to the left, so we got ON here. We got all of these shifts, which are ON. All of these, ON. Addition is also ON. So essentially what we have is we are reducing this problem into these smaller cases over here. So we have these cases, and we're doing multiplication again. So obviously, as you can see, this motivates our recursive relation. So we have, we have t to the n. Let's change my color. T to the n equals, we have 4 cases, and each time we have 4t plus O of n, because we do 4 multiplications, and each time those will have a case where A is half, C is half the size. So we do that 4 times, n over 2, and then we have O of n operations to combine everything. Well, we have by Master's theorem, we have that log base 2 of 4 is 2, hence we have a bound of n squared. Well, as you can see, we didn't actually get any better. So obviously something went wrong, or our algorithm's just not efficient yet. But we can see that since we're dividing it into 4 smaller parts, we're not actually getting any better time complexity. But now I say let's look at something different. So let's move over here, back up here, and consider the following formula. So the very first thing we notice is we're really only looking for 3 things. We're looking for the values of AC, we're looking for the values of AD, we're looking for the values of BC, and we're looking for the values of BD. We won't be able to optimize that ON further easily because we need to do some addition. But maybe we can eliminate the need to look through all of these. So consider the following expression. If we have the expression A plus B times C plus D, well, we notice one thing. This is equal to AC plus AD plus BC plus BD. Okay, well, this seems a little random. But if you notice here, we have a nice observation that we got AC from here. We got AD, BC, and BD. So we got all 4 things, but we're only doing 1 multiplication. Which is amazing because we got all 4 of these expanded out into this term. Now if we look back at our previous expression, we notice over here that, let's just copy this over here. Let's try that copy function. So we had our function over here. We said all of those different properties, and we noticed one thing, that we're doing these 4 multiplications, but now I just showed an expression where we can do 1 addition before, and then we just do 1 multiply. So the next step here is noticing we have AC times 10 to the n plus AD plus BC times 10 to the n over 2 plus BD. Now, we cannot just take this result and use it in any way, because we're getting the addition, the result of this abstract multiplication will be the result of all those additions. But what we can do is we notice that we have this values coupled together. So in reality, we don't actually care what the value of individual AD is or BC. We really only need one of them. So we don't care the value of either AD or BC. Only AD plus BC. This is the critical observation. Now, after we notice this fact, then the rest sort of follows, because what we can do is we can do three calculations. We can do VAC, which is A times C. We can do VBD, which is B times D. And we can do V of A plus B, C plus D, which is A plus B, C plus D. And as a result, we can get VAD plus BC simply as VA plus B, C plus D minus VAC minus VBD. Okay, so what does this actually give us? Well, we can notice one thing. We really only need to calculate three of these terms. Calculate VAC, VBD, and this one. Then essentially we reduced our amount of calculations to 3 because these are just using the existing values from before. Okay, so let's see what this actually means. So if we copy this over here, we have our expression down here. And we can easily calculate the values of this person, and this person, using only 3 calls. So now our recurrence relation looks something like this. T of n is equal to 3 times t n over 2 plus O of n. Why? Because we're doing 3 calls, 3 multiplications. So we have AC, we have A plus B, C plus D, and we have BD. And then we're doing addition over here, and our addition is just simply all these additions over here, and the multiplication and the shifts. So by master theorem, we have that log. Now it's log base 2 of 3 is greater than 1. Therefore, we have a type bound of n to the log base 2 of 3. And we're done, because this is faster than what we had before. So essentially the way the algorithm works is we decompose it into smaller numbers. We divide it into those AC, A plus B, C plus D, and BD. And then using those results, we calculate the larger number. So again, we take the number. Steps are take the two numbers that we're multiplying. Then we divide each into half. Which is precisely what we had over here, where we divided these into half, as you can see here. There's 2 halves. And then use the combined step we mentioned before. So yeah, the idea is to optimize for multiplication, and Karatsuba Hoffman's algorithm allows us to do that in O of n log base 2 of 3 time. So thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Thanks.